We're down at the 5 furlong start where we're about to preview the Coolmore Nunthorpe Stakes. The emphasis is on speed, starting here and racing down the straight where the runners finish in front of the grandstand. Now the horse who's arguably got the most untapped potential is the unbeaten Pearl Secret.
He is tremendously exciting. He's so gorgeous to look at. He's a really good looking horse, and when I saw him, he got a real sheen on him. He was ready to go. He's a very exciting horse. He is unproven in this grade, obviously, but David Barron is a trainer I hugely respect, and he's saying that he clearly thinks he's the best horse by some margin that he's ever trained. He's had a horse, Coastal Bluff, who dead heated in the Nunthorpe before, and he thinks he's up to this grade, always has done. The astonishing thing, a very un-David Barron thing to say, was right at the very start, when this horse was a 2-year-old, I think this horse is the best horse I've ever trained. That's an extraordinary statement for a man who is as circumspect and measured as David Barron is. So I suspect, I'm sure he's up to this grade. The unknown is the ground. He is quite a heavy topped horse. He's got a lot of bulk to him, and if it were to be very fast, that's a total unknown.
It was great to see Hortensia show something like her best form at Goodwood last time out. I was getting worried that the Australia going to Dubai and then coming here was probably getting the better of her, Steve, but she showed that she's now back to something.
I think so, and she was carrying a Group 1 penalty, and make no mistake, she won really easily in Group 2 company at Goodwood. It was a fine performance, I think, and I think he was back to somewhere near her best, and she showed that hallmark turn of foot that she showed in Maidan that we were all excited about, and which was missing for Ascot for I don't know why, and almost certainly because of soft ground at Newmarket. I think we've learned enough about her, and to be fair to Collection, they've always said the same thing. I think a sound surface is important to her. If she gets it, she showed at Goodwood she's got tons of speed, and you can imagine York really suiting her.
My concern for her here at York is one of the reasons ascribed to her below par run in the King's Stand was that she boiled over beforehand. Now we know that York is notorious. The stables are all the way over there. I don't know whether we can pick them out, and they have to walk right. The horses have to walk before they start the race. They have to walk across the Knaves Mile. Now on race day, that will be absolutely packed with people like nowhere else. It's a long way to go to get het up. Now you can take the option to box them over, to take a horse box and drive round. I hope they do that with her, because I think that will help her.
Well, Connections of Bated Breath are having another go at Group 1 level with this remarkable sprinter who's run so well on a number of occasions but hasn't done it at the highest level just yet. We can hear from Khaled Abdullah's racing manager now, Teddy Grimthorpe.
His form is very, very solid, strong, and he's been tremendously consistent at the very top level, but he needs just to go to that one extra level if he can. The faster the ground, I think, the better it is for him. It suits that, he bounces off that and can really kick at Ascot. He was just a little bit on the easy side, and with that he just couldn't quite kick as well as I think he'd be capable of.
I think that York and Haydock both suit him absolutely ideally, because
Why?
I think he wants a flat track, and they're both flat. I mean, you can see for yourself, it's a flat track all the way to the line. 5 or 6 furlongs I think is equally effective. It might even be that he's better over 5 furlongs. He's got the track record at Haydock Park.
Yeah.
So if it's fast ground and 5 furlongs, he has his very, very best chance to get a Group 1 race. I think he's up to it. On his best performance, he should be a Group 1 winner.
2 years ago, Soul Power won the Nunthorpe Stakes at 100 to 1. Now, he clearly won't be 100 to 1, and he's proven himself. At the time, a lot of people thought, obviously, it was a fluke, but he's clearly proven that it wasn't a fluke.
He was drawn high in the King's Stand Stakes, the race in which Bated Breath was second to Little Bridge, and he was the only horse that was drawn high that got involved at the finish. So I think he was a little bit disadvantaged. In my gut, I think he's slightly, very slightly less good than Bated Breath, but there's not much in it.
Well, Mason has had a stellar season, and last time out was clearly the best that we've seen of him. And we can actually hear from Mason's trainer, Richard Fahey.
Well, many congratulations on the victory in the July Cup. Were you expecting that?
You never expect to win a Group 1 like he did, but I was, he had an excuse at York. He didn't come back, got a leg stuck on the stalls there. I mean, put it like this, if he hadn't run his last 2 races, he had a big chance. He was probably second favourite. I think he was second favourite for the July Cup after he won the Palace House, so he came back to his best.
You mentioned the problem he had in the stalls at York. Was that just a one-off?
I hope so, because we've never had issues with him at all, and he got his back leg stuck on the stall there. He was messing about, and he got very wound up at York. York can be a little bit funny there, and we'll see what happens,
Basically, you've learnt from the experience, and there are things that you can put in place to sort it out.
There is. It was a little bit of a surprise how upset he got at York, and we would box him across, and I'm sure that wouldn't be a problem.
Does he need a bit of cut in the ground?
It's very difficult because his best form is nearly on that, but he has won on quick ground. Would I run him on fast ground? Yes, I would.
The higher grade you go, and you don't get any higher than Group 1 company, you need everything in your favour. And if you were to design a race for Mason, you would have the heavens opening. Not because he can't handle a decent service, he can. He's proved that in the past. But to be his absolute best, and he'll need to be his absolute best to win this, I think he wants soft ground.
In his favour, he's looking really well. Again, when I went to see him, he is at his physical prime. He's a horse in his physical prime. So, that's the positive for him, definitely.
And you would understand what physical prime is, standing in between Steve and I. I'm confident about the chances of Hortensia. I think she'll win the Nunthorpe Stakes. I think she's the best around over 5 furlongs.
I'm going to believe that Pearl Secret can make the jump from listed class to top Group 1 sprinter the first time of asking, mainly because I have that much respect for trainer David Barron. He is the bee's knees. I suspect the horse might be as well.
I'm putting on my sun cream and my shorts. I'm expecting hot weather, and I'm expecting bated breath to get his first Group 1.